First off, give credit to Syracuse. There's some people that you always root for, and like Red's one of those guys for me. Like we're on a couple of NCAA committees together, and I think he's a good coach. I think he's a great person, right? And we're kind of going through the same thing right now of trying to figure out our teams without our best guys. And I thought this was just a battle, kind of a battle of wills, and different guys stepped up on each side. So credit to them, but proud of our guys for really digging one out down the stretch. Right? I think we needed to be in a close game. We needed to win a close game so our guys can start to build some belief back.
What did you figure out about your team today?
I think part of that just the toughness. And there have been times where we haven't gotten a key stop or we haven't gotten a bucket when we quite need it, right? And it gets deflating sometimes, right? Close in the game, it's late, and guys start to get a little bit nervous. But there were a couple possessions where, there were some shots we were willing to live with, and J.R. Davis was making some of those, free throw line-ish jumpers. But I was like, he doesn't shoot 100% there. Like, when he misses one, we have to get it, right? And he missed one, and we came up with the ball, right? We got, big shots down the stretch. Just seeing that, just being able to execute and do what we needed to do to kind of pull out the victory.
What kind of stuff was it defensively to get the stops, to get the rebounds, and to do maybe the tough stuff on that end of the floor late in the game today that you haven't been able to do?
Yeah, and with different guys, different lineups, right? Tay's in foul trouble. He's one of our better defenders. So Roper's in, J.R.'s in. Different guys are in different positions and still getting stops. And that's confidence right there. That's confidence. I'm building confidence in different guys, but they're building confidence in themselves that man, if I'm out here, I can help us get stops, especially down the stretch.
Micah, what can you say about the job Kebba did down the stretch on both ends of the court, and how can he build off this?
I think Kebba, I don't know, he's probably been the guy that's gotten affected the most, I think, without Marcus in terms of getting easy baskets around the paint. Because Marcus gets in the paint so much, Kebba's getting those easy dump-offs and dunks and everything else. So, he's finding different ways. And I don't know, I challenged him the other day about his physicality, right? In front of our whole team in the film room, about for us to take another step, he needed to be more physical with how he was playing. I thought he did that, right? Lampkin's huge, man. He's a monster in there in the paint. And, I thought he did a good job guarding him. I thought he did a good job rebounding. He did a good job setting really, really hard screens and getting people open. And in turn, it helped him get open for a couple things.
This was another one where it kind of felt like one that probably goes in a different way last year. How were you able to kind of stick together and pull it out, even though shots weren't falling and not everything was going well?
Yeah. Just, guys kind of being through it, right? We've lost 5 in a row, and almost all of them have been close. And now you get to the end, right? Georgia, not so much at the end, but it was close at a certain point, and then they went on the run late. But, we just needed to see or have success late in the game. We needed to see the ball go through late in the game. We needed to, get 2 hands on the rebound late in the game. We need to make a couple free throws late in the game, just so they feel man, we can do this. We can do this. Without Marcus, we can do this. We can still pull one out in different ways, right? Whether we need to be tough and gritty, whether we need to score, we can still do it without him. And now I think that's going to make us even better when he gets back.
Now that you've done it in a late game situation like this, Micah, how do you make sure that the team builds off of it and carries it forward?
Yeah, just, time. I think the biggest thing that helped us this week was being able to take Wednesday completely off, being able to come in Thursday and practice for about an hour, where guys were getting their legs back. But we had to clean up a lot of the details. We had to clean up some details, especially offensively. And I thought that what we really focused on Thursday and Friday, you saw the effects of it today, right? So now, like, we had to take another day off, and we get 2 more days of practice before we play our next game. Now we got finals week, and we get more days. Like, the more practice days we get, I think the better we can be down the stretch. That's the tough part of planning those MTEs around Thanksgiving is you don't get much practice time, and some details start to slip. And there were some things for us that slipped offensively that you don't have time to correct. We had time to correct them, and I thought we grew from today.
And then specifically for J.R., along those same lines, how do you make sure he benefits from today and carries it forward? And he specifically said Coach Getter was key in keeping him engaged and getting him back up this week.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, Coach Getter had talked to him about different things in practice, things that he was seeing, right? And he had asked me, like, hey, will you just have a conversation with JR before practice, right? And after practice, he was like, did you talk to JR? I was like, absolutely not. I didn't, right? I didn't have to. I didn't have to. JR's energy was so great yesterday. Like, how I judge who plays and who doesn't play is usually off of practice. Right? You practice well, you don't play. Because you're building, you're telling me, man, I'm ready to go, right? 2 days before a game, a day before a game. You're telling me. So now I see that, and I'm like, oh, absolutely, he's going to play a bunch of minutes tonight because he's prepared himself to play well. And JR, the way he practiced yesterday was just like he played today. And we got to keep talking to him. We got to keep harping on it. But when he does it, man, when he plays with that energy, it's huge for us. Like, we need that boost of him, like, whether it's rebounding, whether it's scoring, whether it's defending, whatever it is, he's big for us. I thought he was awesome tonight.
Big performance from Bladen tonight. How impactful was his performance, especially in the stretch?
Yeah, just making big timely shots, but man, like, his performance tonight goes to credit to JT Kelly, credit to Thomas Hatton, Thomas Crow, Brady Stevens. For 2 days, those guys got hit with some screens now. Like, hit with some screens. And they just kept going and going and going and going. And then down the stretch, what was happening is, like, Kebba, Roper, Tay, Garrett, Nikita, like, they were hitting people with screens, right? And now we're getting cleaner looks. We're getting better shots. So, Braden had a great performance, but it was all because of those other guys that nobody's talking about. It was all because of those screens that those guys were setting. It never happens. It never materializes without the rest of the guys on our team.
And Micah, how important is it to start 1-0 in league play, knowing that you have a week or two before the next conference game?
Man, everyone's a dogfight, right? Like, they're just so tough. Like, it's important for our psyche, right? We need to get back on the right side of winning, and we need to prove to ourselves that we can win a close game. But now you have a conference win and just kind of put it in your back pocket and move to what's next, right? Like, we can't take any steps back on Wednesday. And then we got to go to the finals week. Can't take any steps back before Christmas. Like, we have to keep moving forward. But knowing that we have a win in league is really big. That we have that to fall back on when it starts back up at New Year's Eve.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Go St. Joe's Huskies.
You have to use a green towel.
He's been for me. Just threw me the closest.
to be green, not green.
Good. Feel like a Big Ten game out there tonight?
Nah. This is a great ACC game, man. Although Eddie's a big guy, but some of those monsters in the Big Ten were a bit bigger. I think he got some more skill, but he's nice, man. I like him.
How much of this one was just doing the tough stuff there down the stretch, defending, rebounding, getting stops the way you were able to do there?
Yeah, I mean, it's important, for our team, and then just every game. I think like being able to play like that every night. I think we'll see like a lot more, numbers in the win column. And then it was really important for this game just to get that dub at the end. So,
JR,
Sorry, go ahead.
how important was it to win after 5 in a row in the 17 days that you guys have had?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we lost a lot of close ones in Vegas, and we tested ourselves out there for sure. I think a lot of those games were really close. I think they were all like single point or single digit losses too out there against some really good teams. So I mean, we know we have the talent. We know we have the defense to compete with all these teams. So just not getting too over our heads and not getting too far under with our emotions, with our mentality. Just keep going into the next game with we got to win this next game mentality. So.
JR, I think coming into this game, you'd only played like 5 or 6 minutes in 3 of the previous 4 games. How did you mentally stay ready to step up today?
Yeah, I have to give a huge shout out to KG, Coach Getter. He was telling me all week, he was like, man, we need you to get back to the old JR. We need you to be out there. Like we miss the joy that you used to have out there. And like I'll admit, like my body language kind of sucks like the past like week, and like trying to just like get into my head. So just coming out here with some confidence, and I give credit to the coaches for getting me ready for sure.
Speaking of body language, yours was pretty emphatic on the dunk.
Mhm.
Can you take us through that play?
Honestly, I kind of forget what happened on that play. I haven't seen a video of it yet, but I felt like I was pretty high up there. So that was
baseline.
that's a good play-by-play right there. But yeah, that was a pretty good play, definitely.
JR, Coach Shrewsberry described you earlier in the season as like you got some spurt ability to you. Like how are you able to go on the runs that you went on, the run that you went on earlier today, like 7 points in 2 minutes that you guys obviously needed at the end?
Yeah, that's just like who I am, honestly. Like just like a hooper at heart. When I have my confidence with me, I feel like I'm a really good basketball player. So just going out there and keep continuing to keep competing at the highest level is what I'm gonna try to keep doing. Build off of this for sure.
Kebba, and like in this kind of every possession matters game, how are you guys able to pull it out at the end on the defensive end specifically?
I feel like we just locked in. That's where we are at our best. When we're playing great defense, it fuels us on offense. And so like, as a collective, we already knew what we wanted to do and what we were supposed to do to end up getting a win. So
I got a quick question for you guys. We're talking about defense. They were 0 for 9 from the 3-point line. Did you try to take that shot away, or did you imagine that they would not take as many? Like, what was your strategy to guard them from the 3-point line?
Yeah, I mean, we knew they had a few shooters on their team for sure, but we knew they wanted to get into the high roll, kind of hit the show roll right there, and then play out of like their post players are really good at finding the open guards in the corners, on the wings, just like keep on dishing it out, and they're good at finding each other as well. So yeah, kind of just like playing kind of compact, kind of threw them off. I feel like, so I think we were able to defend the 3, and they weren't really able to get any rhythm threes either. We kind of running them off of lines. That kind of stuff. So we had a great game plan going into this game for sure. So,
Kevin, how are you guys able to stay together the last 5 games? Like it's been a grind for you on the court, off the court. Like what kept you believing? All right, we didn't get those, but we have a chance here to start 1-0 in the league.
yeah, I mean, I think it's just like what you just said. Like we never stop believing. I think we all believe that we can be a great team, a great tournament team. But like even after losses, like coach was never, of course he was mad, but he was never stopped believing in us, and that that energy spread over all of us. So.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
thank you.